Yes, 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 yes. Come on, let's go. Thank God it's Thursday, not Friday yet. Now this is your main man. They call me the Dawn of Sport Entertainment. No doubt about it, we are not messing around today. It's all about sport debate. Guys, sit back, relax. I want to welcome everybody to this show. Fantastic. It's been a fantastic week. How was the week going so far, guys? Thank you, everybody. Please subscribe to the channel. That's what I'm going to tell you guys. Please subscribe, like the show, and also share it. Let's share. Let's love and share it. Now let's get into this straight up. It's all about Sport Debate Show right now. I am in the studio already. Bring it down, DJ. Bring it down. Come on. I am in the studio right now. Cup for Life is waiting for me all the way from Houston. Houston is ready. Let's jump into this straight up. It's going to be massive. Kule also all the way from Nigeria is also getting ready. Robbie is also getting ready. I tell you, let's do this, guys. Topic for today is all about Mane going to Bayern. He's already in Bayern, I know that. Is he a good signing for Bayern? We need to know about this. Also, Lukaku, my bros Lukaku has been mismanaged at Chelsea. We don't know yet. It's going to be likely to be talked about today. Lukaku, also Pound Sterling. I call him Pound Sterling. Selling sexy Sterling going to Chelsea. Is he going to be a good signing? I don't know yet. Now let me bring my guys all the way from Cup for Life. He's a Liverpool fan. Don't mind him. He's going to tell us they are the best in the world. Let's tell him. Let's bring him in, guys. Cup for Life, what's going on, bro?
Yes. Well, it's always a pleasure to be on the show. Always a pleasure to join this group of gentlemen that have incredible ideas. And let's get the show going. Ready to kind of get involved in this debate today. And it promises to be interesting. Always going to win. Always.
You hear that, guys? He said he's ready. He's ready. I'm going to now go all the way back to Nigeria, my country. I'm talking about Kunlegze Fayiga, all the way from Oshodi City. What's going on, bro? Kunle?
Good evening, Dawn. Good evening, Cup for Life, and good evening to Robbie and Professor Tuchel, everyone on the show. It's nice to be here after a while. I've really missed the show, and I'm really ready to get it down today.
All right. Thank you, Kunle. Thank you. Now, I'm going to Ile-Ife, where we are talking about where Akabiesi, I'm talking about our king in Yoruba land. This guy is living very close to Kabiesi. Let me bring him in quickly. Robbie. Robbie. What's going on, bro?
Hey, good to be here. I am so happy to be here once again. I have missed the show. I'm so sorry I've been away for a very long time, and I am glad to be back. Pastor Cup for Life, good to hear your voice once again. And my brother Akunle, don't worry, I'm here for you.
Yes, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, it's good to see you guys. I call me the Dawn of Sport Entertainment. We're going straight into this. No doubt about it. I'm going to moderator. Can you please tell us what we have in stock for today? Can you quickly tell us? We are talking about money. Am I right, moderator?
Yes, we're talking about money. Is he a good signing for Bayern Munich, or is it not a good signing for Bayern Munich? How much will Liverpool missing? Then we're looking at Sterling. Is Sterling also a good signing? While we're also looking at Lukaku, I call him Mr. Compassionate Leave. To see if he's a
Come on. What's that?
good sign after allegedly being mismanaged by Chelsea. So let's get the show on the roll.
All right, guys. I'm so glad to see you guys. Let's rock it. Kunle is going to tell us where it's going to stand for. I think Kunle says it's going to go for Mane. It's a good sign. Am I right, Kunle?
Absolutely, boss.
All right, let's go for it. They want to hear you. Now let's get into it. You and Cup for Life are slugging it out today. So now let's get it started. Kunle, over to you. You said Mane is a good signing for Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Why do you have to say that? Why do you have to say it? Please, if anywhere you're watching this from, please smash the like on the button of the video. Let's do this. Let's do this. Now, Kunle, go for it.
Yes, boss. Okay, so Sadio Mane going to Bayern Munich. I feel that is a superb deal, both for the player and both for the club. For the club, because they got him for something in the region of 41 million euros, which is about 35 million pounds. And if I'm correct, I think that is just 3 million more than Liverpool paid for him, because I think he was signed for 32 million or thereabout, or maybe 34. I can't remember, but I know it's something in that region. So Bayern Munich are getting a steal of a deal, if there's any English like that. And for him, it is definitely going to be a good one, because he has excelled under a German manager who excelled in Germany, and now he is going to another club where we could say that the environment would be kind of similar. I'm not saying that Bayern Munich play exactly like the way Liverpool do play, but at least you can see that there is some similarities in terms of at least the pressing and all. So it's not going to be new to him. I mean, Mane is one workaholic of a player. His work rate is exceptional, and this is something that has made him thrive at Liverpool, in which sometimes, I'm sorry to say this, but because of one of the things I rate Mane for is because of that work rate. And it is something I know Salah sometimes tends to get the goals, but in terms of that work rate and overall team play, Mane seems to do much more. But the problem is that he has always been underappreciated compared to Salah, who gets more of the glory, more of the recognition. And that thing kind of tended to show during the two of them, where there was a time where I think Salah didn't pass to Mane one time, and it was I can't remember the game, and things kind of wanted to boil over, but Klopp was very quick to kill it down and all. But you could always tell that Sadio Mane sometimes wasn't happy, because the spotlight and more of the glory was on Salah. But now him going to Bayern Munich, and I think with Lewandowski's impending, I think Lewandowski has left now, if I am right. I believe he has left Bayern Munich, or is about to leave. Now Mane will have that opportunity. I believe the spotlight is definitely going to be on him, because the goals maybe he didn't get at Liverpool because Salah was scoring more. I can bet it with you that Mane is going to score much more, because he's going to the Bundesliga, where goals. Bayern Munich are the outright dominant team. No one has stopped them from winning the Bundesliga title in the past. Is it 11 seasons now, or is it 12 seasons? Although that's ridiculous for me personally, but hey, Mane is going to have so much fun, because he would score. In fact, I expect his goal tally, because if you notice, only once was he able to. I don't think Mane has had up to 30 goals overall in a season while he was at Liverpool. I think his highest was 28, and that was that season when Mane and him, Salah and Aubameyang shared the Premier League Golden Boot. I think that was in 2018-19 season. I'm not sure now, but he only had 28. But trust me, with him going to Bayern Munich now, he's definitely going to be getting more than 30 goals in a season, because everything is going to be about him. We'll probably see him more. We could probably see something more of an explosive Mane, something close to where we had these guys. Arjen Robben and Frank Ribery. You know, the two of them, very explosive guys on the flanks, and they were scoring goals for fun. I mean, if you look at Robben's goal, Robben too was hitting 30-something goals per season, the likes with Ribery. So I think this is definitely Mane's time, you know, to shine. The spotlight is definitely going to be on him. It's a big move. It's a big move for him because Bayern Munich is equally a prestigious club in Europe and in the world. So I mean, I see every ounce of good in him going to Bayern Munich, and it's a good time as well. He's still at the peak of his powers, so definitely, I don't see him declining. Rather, I would see an upgrade. You know, like a continuation. Yes, he's 29, but trust me, I believe he can still go for like the next. He can still go for like 3-4 seasons peak performance. He will be able to deliver.
Cup for Life in trouble right now, and I guess it's ready. All right, Kule, are you done with the money? Because I'm going to bring in
yes, I am. Yes, I am, absolutely.
Moderator, I hope you're noticing the points from Kule. Now I'm going to now call up on Cup for Life. Cup for Life, go for it.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, okay. This one was one of those that I kind of rated the discussion at 50-50 before we started. Haven't heard Kunle give his version. I am now at 80% certainty that I am going to defeat him before we even start. But, so let's go. Let's start by telling you one major fact here. Sadio Mane is a good player. Sadio Mane, I repeat, is a good player. But what is Sadio Mane? Sadio Mane is one of the best forwards in the game. I use that word intentionally. Sadio Mane is a good forward, not a striker. A number 9 is very different from a forward. And a number 9 was what Robert Lewandowski was. So is actually till today. Robert Lewandowski is a striker, is a number 9. Sadio Mane is a forward. So that's one thing that we always want to kind of factor into this discussion. Now, can Sadio Mane play as an out-and-out number 9? He has done that. Is his natural movement in a game to play as a number 9? No. In fact, when he has played that role for Liverpool, he has played almost as a false 9 when Liverpool used him in that position towards the end of last season. So at the back end of last season, it was Diaz, Mane, Salah. And it was not really playing shoulder to shoulder with the last man in defense. What he was doing was he was coming short into the false 9 position, getting the ball, looking up, spraying passes and running into the box. So that's very, very different from what Robert Lewandowski offered Bayern Munich previously. So you have to also remember that is where Bayern Munich, from a Bayern Munich perspective, are you now thinking about changing your style of play? Because you already have a player that does very well in that false 9 position, in my own opinion, that could have easily stepped up and carried on from that position in Müller. To me, Müller could have started to kind of play in, he plays already as a sort of like a 9.5. So to me, I think that when you think about it from that perspective, I think that from a Bayern Munich perspective, are they ready to slightly change their style of play to accommodate Sadio Mane? Is that a positive? I don't think so. I think they have a winning formula in the league. They've won the league back-to-back for the last decade. Why do you want to then change that? Because I don't think that if you asked anybody, Lewandowski versus Mane, who is more likely to assist you in winning the Champions League? If that's what the goal is, I know I'll be going for Lewandowski in that position ahead of Sadio Mane in that number 9 position. Again, in that number 9 position. Another point to factor into this equation is this. Mr. Kunle did talk earlier on about how Bayern Munich paid 3 million more for Mane than Liverpool paid for the same player. Isn't that in itself shocking? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when Liverpool bought a
Yes.
24-year-old, we paid £3 million less for a 24-year-old. Never mind the fact that when you play under Jurgen Klopp squeezes every drop out of you. We have squeezed every drop out of this player for the last 6 years. Liverpool have won everything with this player over the last 6 years. The Premier League, the Champions League, the Super Cup, the World Club Championship, the FA Cup, the League Cup. Liverpool have won everything. Squeezed the better part of this boy's career already away from him. You now arrive at 30-year-old as Bayern Munich, and what do you decide you're going to look for? You decide you are now going to go and sign the same player Liverpool signed 6 years ago for £3 million less. It just goes to show that what my Bayern Munich are signing, if I was a Bayern Munich fan, I'll be thinking we are signing his reputation rather than what is in front of him. Does that make sense? What is in front of him is a player that probably has only 2 more seasons at the top end of his career. Not what when Liverpool was paying £3 million less, we were thinking about 6 years down the line what we would get out of him. Bayern cannot tell me that the return on their investment is going to be anywhere near what Liverpool did. Liverpool used him and we still made £3 million. I mean, come on. There's just that in itself just goes to show that somebody from Bayern Munich negotiated a bad deal. And so from a Bayern Munich perspective again, I would say that's terrible. The other thing to also factor into the equation is this as well. And this goes to the treatment of Robert Lewandowski, which makes me see that Sadio Mane, when you think about it, is a stopgap himself for Bayern Munich. They view him as a stopgap because ultimately they didn't want him. The person they really wanted was Haaland. They went out for Haaland 100%, and unfortunately, they lost out. They lost out to Man City for Haaland. And unfortunately, what you now found was that they started to run helter-skelter when they realized they could not find it. And they realized all of a sudden, the other players that they may be interested in have become very quickly too expensive. For example, Darwin Núñez was now going to be going for 75, 80 million. Bayern Munich cannot play in that ballpark. So they decided, what should we do next? Let's go for Sadio Mane. Now, Robert Lewandowski said something very important. He said he has been treated without respect, and there's been a lack of loyalty from Bayern Munich. And when you think about it, people like Hassan Salihamidzic, they don't know what they are doing. They keep talking and contradicting themselves at the top of the Bayern Munich hierarchy. So when you really think about it, were they thinking about Sadio Mane as the next player to come and replace Robert Lewandowski? No, this happened very last minute when they realized they had run out of options and Lewandowski was not going to stay. Most players, and what Lewandowski said is this, he said, most players that still have a point to prove in the game will not consider Bayern Munich today because of the disrespect they showed him. I have to say, it is sad that it is one of our brothers that then thought, what should I do? I will then go to Bayern Munich. I have a lot of love for Sadio Mane, but I have to be honest, sometimes you need to see the way they've treated other players, and you need to ask yourself, did they really want me, or did they just want me as a stopgap? So ultimately, in my own opinion, when you think about it, is Mane a good wide player, one of the best in the world? If I was Mane going to Bayern Munich today to be played as a number 9, I'll be thinking they don't have a strategy. And that's my overall view on that.
All right. Thank you so much, Cop for Life. Robbie, I hope you're noticing that.
Yes, I am.
Yes, good. We also have Professor Tuchel is also in the building, so we're going to bring him in anytime soon. No doubt about it. Let's move straight into question 2. Or moderator, is there anything you want to say? Like we should know the winner now, or is it at the end of it all?
Let's know the winner now.
Boss. No, please, boss. I want to counter what Cup for Life said. Oh, please, I want
or
to
do we,
counter what he said.
or do we? You know, we still have 3 questions. I mean, 2 more questions left.
Yeah.
So do we?
Okay.
Moderator,
You
go
get
ahead,
one
please.
chance and one chance
Okay.
only.
Okay. Let me quickly establish this for both contestants on the show. The thing is, I think from next shows that we run on the channel, we'll practically have a time limit in which contestants can talk about their own part of the point that they have. Then,
All right.
in case of a counter, we'll give an additional 1 or 2 minutes for them to wrap up their point. In which, after that, we'll be giving the point for each section as the show goes on. But in this case
Awesome.
for today,
Yeah.
in this case for today, we would actually give the verdict at the end of the show. So first and foremost,
Yes.
Kole has 1 minute to counter.
All
Then
right.
Cup for Life as well has 1 minute to balance the equation. So
But Bodmas, let's go. Kole, over to you.
All right, thank you. So what I just wanted to say is that first and foremost, I am not saying that Sadio Mane is going to Bayern Munich as the number 9. Definitely, I know he is not an out and out 9 like Robert Lewandowski, but I am trying, the way I see Sadio Mane going to Bayern Munich. That was why I made reference to Arjen Robben and Frank Ribery. If you remember that period in time, that was the outlet, and they were both on the flanks. That was the outlet where majority of Bayern Munich's goals were coming from. So Bayern Munich can possibly go back to such a time if Sadio Mane is going to be the goal threat, is going to be where the goals will be coming from. He can be scoring all those goals from the left. If they have to tweak their tactics just to suit him, they can do it. At least, like I mentioned, they did that with Robben and Ribery, and they were dominating also in the Champions League. So definitely, I don't see any problem with that. Then about saying that it is bad for Bayern Munich, I'm getting him just 3 million more or something. Like, how is that not a good deal? I mean, you would expect that for Sadio Mane, maybe nothing less than 50 million, even if it was a last option. I actually feel disappointed that Liverpool could not get more out of him. That is what is shocking to people, because even if Mane is just 30 years old, he's still at the peak of his powers. And no, I do not agree that Mane has like 2 seasons left. No, I say he still has about 4 or 5 seasons, and he can be on top of his game, and definitely he can use that to achieve great things in Bayern Munich. So even if they didn't go for Haaland, they can. I mean, that's why I said I see Mane possibly getting 30-40 goals in Bayern. I mean, it's the Bundesliga where everyone just
time up.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Time up.
Sorry.
Time up.
All right.
I'm now going to shift to Cup for Life to balance the equation.
Okay.
I'm talking about Bodmas right now.
I'll do a quick 1 minute.
All right,
1 minute. Here's the situation. First and foremost, Bayern Munich did not buy Sadio Mane to play from the wide areas because they have Kingsley Coman and they have Leroy Sané. So let's be clear about that. Leroy Sané is going to play from the left. Sadio Mane is going to play from the center position, which clearly shows that they're buying a winger to play up front. Clearly, they did not have a plan. That is clear. Then the second point is this. There's no way on earth that a player with 1 more year on his contract is going to be going for 50, 60 million. He has 1 more year on his contract. He's 30 years of age. He's played the better part of his career. There's no way Sadio Mane has anything more than 2 seasons at the highest level. Maybe 2 seasons in Bayern Munich. There's nothing in there that he's going to win that is significant. He's already won the league. He will be winning purely the Bundesliga title. Anybody can go there and win the Bundesliga title because Bayern will win it. The sad reality for him is that he knows it was a stopgap.
All right. Thank you so much. That is the balance of the equation. Moderator, over to you.
Yes.
That's Robbie.
Okay. For like I said, for this show, we'll practically be declaring the winner at the
Right.
end of
At the end.
the round.
Okay.
At the
Okay.
end of the round.
Of the
So
round.
you can move on to the next question, please.
Let's move to the next question. All right, straight to it. Now, second question says, was Lukaku mismanaged at Chelsea? So who's going to go first? Call for life or Kunle? Which one?
Cup for Life goes first since
All right.
Kunle
Yeah.
started the last one.
Oh, better still. Better still. Let's do this.
All right. Okay. So Romelu Lukaku. I think it's important to kind of call out that, firstly, what is my position on Romelu Lukaku?
Yes.
Are we being timed? Do I have 5 minutes? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
5 minutes.
So 5 past now, I have to be done. So Romelu Lukaku, in my opinion, is an enigma. You have to understand the value of Romelu Lukaku if you are going to buy him. My position is firmly that Romelu Lukaku was mismanaged at Chelsea, purely for many, and I have many reasons I have down here. First and foremost, for me, let's go to who Romelu Lukaku is. Romelu Lukaku has scored 68 goals for Belgium. That is, on an average, greater than 1 in every 2 games. He started off his career at Anderlecht as a very young boy, scored 33 goals in 73 games. To me, again, very close to the 1 in 2 mark. Same thing as Everton, 53 goals in 110 games. Man United, his numbers dropped again because I think he was playing under a manager that did not play to his strength. Every time he's played under a manager that did not play to Lukaku's strength, you can see a drop in these goals. 28 goals in 66 games for Manchester United. Then he went to Inter, where he was prioritized as a number 9, and they revolved the play around making sure that he got the ball in the areas that benefited him, where he again converted 47 goals in 72 games. Now, Chelsea last season, what did he do? He did score 8 goals in 26 games, which tells me again that every time he's played under a manager that did not understand him and how to play to his strength, that there was always going to be a problem. Now, who is Romelu Lukaku in terms of his playing style? To me, Romelu Lukaku is big, strong, fast center forward that likes the ball. You know, he likes to run onto balls. His first touch is not great, so you cannot completely use him all the time as a target man. You have to give him balls that he's going to run onto, and he has a wonderful feet that he can take shots on very quickly. He knows how to also hold defenders and turn them to balls that are approaching him from a very, very fast-paced area. He's brilliant in the air. So to me, those are his core strengths as a striker, Romelu Lukaku. Huge build guy. So for me, what do I like about this guy, and what I've seen about him is that he's the kind of guy that if you give him the right service, you are definitely going to get goals out of him. The sad reality with Chelsea is this: you pay 100 million plus for a striker that was a gift by the owner. I get that. It was never Tuchel. Tuchel didn't want him. But when the owner pays 100 and something million for a player, despite his attitude, it is imperative that you understand how he would fit into your style of play. You would notice that this goes even beyond Lukaku here. If you look at Chelsea, I think the problem Chelsea have here is that Chelsea don't have a strategy when it comes to what they are trying to do with forwards. In the same season where they bought 2 strikers to come into their club, the name escapes me now. This Havertz and then the other Timo Werner. They bought Havertz and they bought Timo Werner, and I don't think they knew exactly what they wanted to do with Havertz or Timo Werner, because both of them played in Germany. Havertz played as a false 9 for his club. Timo Werner played as an out-and-out striker for his club. And then Timo Werner came. You didn't know what to do with Timo Werner. You started to push him onto wide areas. Havertz, you didn't know what to do with him. You pushed him onto the right for some games. And then eventually last season, they decided to play him as a number 9, the out-and-out number 9. When you think about all of that, it shows to me that this is a club that is trying to figure out where they're going, where they're forwards, particularly with their forwards. Chelsea don't know what to do with their forwards. And Romelu Lukaku is a classic example of a player, a big game player that arrived, and sadly, unfortunately, Tuchel likes a slow build-up. He likes to sometimes play with a false 9. He's been given an out-and-out number 9, and he did not know what to do with it. There are many managers that struggle with the concept of a true out-and-out number 9 today. Even Pep Guardiola, I dare say, does not like to play with an out-and-out number 9. There are many managers like that. Klopp himself sometimes doesn't like to play with an out-and-out number 9. So maybe that is the school of thought that Tuchel's come from. But you cannot simply say that his bad attitude was enough to say that you should not play him in his proper position and play to his strengths, because I think that on his day, he's a phenomenal player. And that's why I think that Romelu Lukaku was mismanaged at Chelsea.
All right. Thank you so much. Cup for life. Only over to you, all the way from Nigeria. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Ole.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Thanks, boss. Well, for me, Cup for Life actually touched on quite a number of things to say that Lukaku was mismanaged. But in my own regard, he has actually made mention of, especially where he made mention of his attributes as a player. And that actually does say a lot, because you do have to play him, to his strengths and all. But where I see the problem is that once he doesn't thrive, there gets to be a lot of noise. And I noticed that Lukaku, ever since he got to Manchester United, was where this thing started. Because, Manchester United is a club where once a player doesn't kind of deliver to those high expectations that one needs, you get all the bashing, and you get all the you get all the criticism, even though statistics show that it is not as bad as it seems. And Manchester United was a perfect example of that. Yes, Lukaku wasn't scoring like he did when he was at Everton, but I mean, he was still able to get, I think, was it 42 goals in 96 appearances for United. That is almost half, almost half goals in, that's goals, half of, goals in half of the, how do I want to put it? Like half, you get, he made that's like 90 appearances, almost 45 goals, which isn't bad, but because, we are in this age where social media wants just one game, because maybe you had a bad game, then this noise and this wave of criticism just follows you, and it sometimes tends to affect performance to the point that the manager also has no choice. Maybe sometimes the manager bows to the pressure and doesn't get to use him. I think that is what happened with Tuchel, and that's why I'm disappointed in him, because I feel Thomas Tuchel was actually probably listening more to the crowd, to the criticism, because Lukaku is still supposed to be Chelsea's goal threat, no matter what. So you have to find a way to get the best out of him. Dropping him to the bench does not solve anything. It only makes it worse, and it only made it glaring. If there was anybody that was going to get the goals for Chelsea, it was going to be Lukaku. So it was for Tuchel to get a way out of it. So, but rather he decided to listen to criticism and all these things, and then dropped him for this long stretch of games. When he now started using Kai Havertz, okay, he started giving a few goals, but once Kai Havertz too dropped, he now remembered maybe he had Lukaku, brought him back and started using him, starting him while Havertz was being on the bench. So I just feel that Lukaku was just a victim of the criticism that came from fans and the media, and that's one of the reasons why he said he was not he was not being loved, and he wanted to go to Inter. So I just feel that if he had been given more of a chance, things could have worked better for him. Even at Manchester United, it was the same thing. There was just too much criticism around him, and it was almost certain that with the way the criticism was going, he had to leave, because it's not every player that can handle such criticism. So it's a matter of actually giving these players a chance and actually trying to bring out their strength. So that's how I see it. So rather than him going to Inter Milan, where I even actually feel that he might not get, he might not actually play that well in the second still, largely because it's a different manager in Simeone Inzaghi, who isn't an Antonio Conte. There's just that something when you reconnect with the former manager where you thrived the most. You understand? That's why you see him, Roberto Martinez, and at Everton and in Belgium. So it's not a guarantee that he will do well at Inter Milan under Inzaghi. But if it were to be, continue at Chelsea and try to get the best out of him, use this preseason, to fine tune things to ensure that he gets the goals, and I'm sure he will do it. So that's how I see it.
All right. Robbie, what do you think?
Can I have my 1 minute?
Can I
please?
quickly? Hello, I would like to interject. I'm sorry. I'm the moderator for this. I'm sorry, everybody. First of all, hello, good evening to everybody. Sorry for coming late. I think both of them, Kunle and Cup for Life, are somehow for the same argument. Because I think Kunle was supposed to argue against, but it's fine. But I'll quickly do I could come in and do the job if nobody's against why Lukaku was mismanaged, because I think it wasn't mismanaged. So if I could quickly just speak for 2 minutes, I'll just make a point. I feel like Lukaku wasn't mismanaged because he set a Premier League record for a world-class player to set the Premier League record of 7 touches in a game. For me, there's no excuse for that. His problem started, if we're going to look at it, started from the interview, as far as I'm concerned. He went away. He was injured, out of the team, and Tuchel decided, which is the manager's prerogative, decided not to bring him straight in the team. I mean, who is Lukaku, by the way? You're playing for the champions of Europe. It's not your giving right to come straight back into the team. All right. So he was on the bench, and then before you knew, I think he was upset that he was not coming in, wasn't playing, and then went to do that nonsense interview that started the end of him in Chelsea. So the problem on the pitch started from when Reece James and Ben Chilwell were injured. That's a very big component of Thomas Tuchel's football play. He uses his wing back, and with the wing back like James and Chilwell, who are one of the best crossers of the ball, they were banging in, they were putting in balls for him. He scored goals when he arrived at Chelsea. He practically destroyed Arsenal alone. So it's not as if we didn't play to his strength. But when the Chiefs are down, as a senior football player, you need to adjust. Come and get the ball. Show for the ball. How can you have 7 touches in the game? The record in Premier League, and it's not worked for him in Manchester United as well. It's not as if it's a Chelsea thing. Yes, Chelsea have their problem with centre forwards, but as long as there are exceptions with Diego Costa and Didier Drogba, then I mean, he came saying he's coming to his boyhood club, Chelsea. He got advice from Drogba. He said Drogba told him a lot of things and how he can play and all that, and then only for you to go and make such degrading interview. Undermining the manager, undermining the players, or practically undermining the club. So for me, it was the architect of his problem in Chelsea. I think he's too arrogant. I think Lukaku was very arrogant, and I think on the pitch, it wasn't. Lukaku lost. I watched all Chelsea's games last season, and Lukaku lost clear-cut chances you expect him to bury. Might be because of his lack of confidence or anything, but you expect Lukaku to bury some chances, and it was nowhere to be found. We used him. It's not as if Tuchel did not. He came back and Tuchel still used him. So for me, yes, the important components of his play, the way he was playing in Inter Milan, everything went through him. You see, that's different. You see, when you're a big game player, you can. That's why some players can function in a smaller team, and when they get to a bigger team, they're nowhere to be found, because if you're a big game, everything is not going to go through you. Everything goes through him in Inter Milan. And then we must also remember, he likes to run behind. In the Premier League, if you're playing against Chelsea, who is going to have the ball? The other team, they drop deep. The smaller teams drop deep. And that is why Pep Guardiola found a way to use his false nine, because he knew that anybody who plays against City, they practically play a low block. So if you're a centre forward in a low block, you're waiting for a cross, or you're waiting for something to get loose for you to put in. You're waiting for a tap in or something to get, because they play on a low block. So that's why he wants his false nine to drop deep and draw centre backs out of their positions and link up play. And that's why he's the best manager in the world, and that's why he's thriving. He and Klopp. Firmino does the job. Klopp for life knows better. Firmino does the job immediately. So Lukaku for me doesn't have any. For me, it was a failure, and I'm going to attribute 80% of the blame to him, and maybe 20 to the club and the manager. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for that insight. Cup for Life, you want to say something before we go to the third question? You still have something to say?
So needless to say that I disagree that, I think players say the wrong things all the time. And I think that Lukaku's interview was a disaster, was disrespectful to Chelsea Football Club. But needless to say, I did think that Tuchel as well has no idea of what to do with him. I think that when you spend that amount of money on a player, you're forced to have to play him, and you're forced to have to give him the opportunity he needs to and provide the environment he needs to be successful. But aside from that, very quickly, the debate was between myself and Mr. Kunle. I think we successfully argued the same point, so I suppose that point goes to me as well. So I'm happy to move on.
No, it doesn't go to you. I'm still the moderator. It doesn't go to you. It doesn't go to
I disagree.
Because I don't know how you can get the point when he argued the same thing as me, that he has
I don't know how.
Bro, you see what you want now?
Sorry, Robbie.
No. Wait, guys. Actually saying that Lukaku.
Don't personalize. Wait, this is not about what we want. We are saying what me and Mr. Kunle were arguing.
I'm just trying to make that point that the criticism Lukaku was always getting, that's why I'm saying that it counted against him. Doesn't necessarily mean that he was being mismanaged. Criticism is a factor, just like Professor Tuchel said that, the interview, that one there, like saying that the interview was the crux of his problems, and Lukaku bears the blame. So that doesn't mean that he was, if you are saying mismanaged, we're saying something from, maybe something from like the management, the board or something in the same, but in this case, we're talking about criticism that, sometimes when you get criticized, it has like I told you, when you get criticized, the noise is loud, and before you know it, the manager just throws you away and all, instead of trying to give you a chance to fight for that chance or something, you understand, rather than listen to the noise from the crowd. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm not trying to say that because he was being criticized that now counts for being mismanaged. No, that's not what I'm saying.
All right, Kunle is still disagreeing. That is making point. We'll know.
Yes, I would disagree.
We'll know at the end of the show. We're moving straight to the number 3 questions. Robbie, can you roll it for us? Number 3.
Sterling to Chelsea, good signing or not a good signing?
So who's going to start first?
You have the floor.
All right, Kunle, let's do this now.
Babala, not a good signing. Raheem Sterling to Chelsea. I am sorry for Chelsea. When Chelsea should be looking for prolific goal scorer, it is a Raheem Sterling that has gone. A Raheem Sterling that was hardly starting games for Manchester City. Even if he was going to start, he was going to get subbed off at some point. You look at the last 2 seasons, you see that his goal numbers drop, because whether you like it or not, Raheem Sterling is about goals. Yeah, and when you look at the high of the 2019-20 season, when he scored 31 goals in 52 appearances, which I think was a career high or thereabout, it just tailed off, the following season, and you could tell that Guardiola wasn't, using him as such, coming off the bench. And let's not forget, there's something about Sterling. Sterling is someone who wastes chances a lot. I mean, it is so known with him. That's why you would remember, though it was kind of surprising that, well, let me say it wasn't a surprise, but he did quite admirably well at the Euro 2020 last summer. But if you remember very well, you would see that when he was starting, you would be like, people were like, that why would Raheem Sterling be starting? Someone who had a below par season, wasn't the prime Sterling we knew. So even when he gets called up to England, it is being questioned because, his form is not, because what he has at Manchester City is not what people would think he would get at England. Club selection and national team selection is largely based on how well you do at your club. And if you're not doing well at your club and you get selected, there's going to be question marks, like the way Harry Maguire is still getting called up by England is just an example. So Raheem Sterling going to Chelsea is going to be very problematic because Chelsea, as we know, have a problem with goals. So what they need is a goal scorer. I mean, although they do have people that should give them goals, from Hakim Ziyech to Kai Havertz. I mean, Kai Havertz, who was scoring goals for fun at Bayer Leverkusen, then even Timo Werner as well, who was getting 20 plus goals at RB Leipzig. But when he came to Chelsea, it became a problem. So, they need someone. They need that large figure. Then let's not even forget Romelu Lukaku, who we discussed of previously. So if you are coming, if Sterling is coming in for goals. That is how I am seeing it. And if Sterling is not going to be scoring those goals and wasting chances the way he was wasting at Manchester, because that's not what Chelsea need. I mean, you see the kind of chances the like of Ziyech, Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, and all the Chelsea players miss on a steady. So if you are getting Sterling, you are only actually adding to the you're actually adding adding fuel to the fire in a way, because his last few seasons, as I've pointed out, at Manchester City were not great, and because they were not great, that is why City would be looking to let go of him, because if Sterling was really that great and really that prolific, I do not think Manchester City would want to let go of him. Rather, they would want to keep him, knowing that he's going to be an integral part. But seeing that the possibility of him leaving, then it clearly goes to tell you that he wasn't, he wasn't doing very well. And trust me, I mean, for someone who they bought for about, was it not 50 something million or thereabout from Liverpool, he's definitely going to be going for way much less. I mean, if City can see 20 million for him, they should go to church, and City should go to church and do Thanksgiving, in my opinion, on that, because Sterling hasn't just been anything close to, what we've expected of him, knowing that he's this kind of explosive player who can get goals and, from nowhere. But now all of a sudden he struggles to get those goals. He wastes chances. That's not the kind of player Chelsea need for me. They need someone that is more prolific and someone who is certain, someone more of like a Mo Salah kind of figure that you are sure you can be guaranteed that he is going to, score a goal in the, going into the game. He's like the favorite to score. That's the kind of person Chelsea should be getting up front, not a Raheem Sterling.
All right. Do you agree with that? Call for live. I'm switching over to you right now. Call for live. I can't hear you. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Go for it.
Yes.
I am about to eat Mr. Kunle like they eat Indomie noodles. You have looked for trouble with this one because you fell into many traps that I expected you would fall into.
Oh my goodness.
There are many traps falling into, and we will rebuff all of them one by one, because I have the hard statistics to back up a lot of accuracies that people talk about. But the very first thing you said is this. When you play this video back, you realize the very first thing you said is he's not a goal scorer. And then you talked about all his goals. So for starters, I don't know which one you want to pick, whether it's a goal scorer or he's not a goal scorer. But anyhow, we'll leave that aside. I think there are certain points that make here that will be interesting to note about Raheem Sterling. Let's talk about what you firstly talked about, his goals. All right? Raheem Sterling has scored 109 goals in the Premier League. Premier League goals. I'm not talking about League Cup. 109 Premier League goals. That is 5 more than Didier Drogba ever scored in his entire career for Chelsea.
Wow.
5 more. Let's be factual. 102, Ronaldo scored for Manchester United. Ronaldo. Drogba, 104 for Chelsea. You can Google and check these things out. These are facts, right? Something to understand is this. In all of those goals, 78 of 161 appearances over the last 5 years, he has scored 78 of those goals in the last 5 years. Only 3 players have bettered that level of proficiency in the Premier League. That is Salah, Kane, and Jamie Vardy. So as a goal scorer, which he is, let's not kid ourselves around that, he's an incredibly talented and gifted goal scorer. I want to talk about a point that is often said about this guy, that he's wasteful. His big game conversion rate. When you're talking about you are in front of a goal, big chances, score. He has 47% chances of scoring, same as Salah. Check your facts. Reality is that he is as dangerous in front of goal, big chances, as Mohamed Salah. So when people say he's wasteful, I'm sure they're not saying Mohamed Salah is wasteful. And yet we say Raheem Sterling is wasteful. Let us not always buy into these media ideologies of what is a fact, just because we like to assume they are facts. That's another thing to factor in. Thirdly, I'm going to rush through the rest due to time. He's 27 years of age. 27 years of age is no age in football. He's not a 30-year-old going to Bayern Munich to collect his last salary. He's 27 years of age. So to me, he has another 5-6 years. At least with him, we know his age. So we know he's 27. So he's not 32 going to Bayern at the 30. Anyway, let's besides the point. Flexibility. He can play anywhere across the front line. Right, left, center, 10. So that means he's got the flexibility to play in a 4-3-3, 3-4-3, 4-4-2, etc., etc. That is the level of consistency that he has, that he can play in any of those positions and can be equally as prolific in any of those positions. Now, price tag. Chelsea get a steal for anything about 35 million. Because he's on the last year of his contract, he's going pretty much at the same price as what, what's his name? Sadio Mane has gone to Bayern Munich for. Now, that's a 30-year-old going to Bayern Munich versus a 27-year-old that will be made available, which again goes to show the craziness of Bayern and goes to show that if you can get him for 35 million at Chelsea, what a steal for one of the most prolific goal scorers in the Premier League when it comes to hard facts. Now, for me, when you think about it as well, despite how often he's played or not played, Pep started him in every big game last season. Why? Because Pep understands his value. He played against Liverpool, he played against Chelsea, he played against Spurs. Started all those games. Why? Because he understands the value of Raheem Sterling. Lastly, and not the least, is this. Raheem Sterling is a London boy. Raheem Sterling is going back to London and he will feel settled. Originally from Queen's Park Rangers, he traveled up to Liverpool. To me, going back to Chelsea is like a return back home for Raheem Sterling. And it's a guarantee that the quality of what he's got to produce, Chelsea do not have a player that can be that consistent even as things stand. So let's be clear, Raheem Sterling would be a steal for any Premier League club, never mind even just Chelsea.
Only is there anything you want to add to it? Just 1 or 2 minutes to buttress your point.
Well, like I said, World Cup for life. No. World Cup for life. Listen, I'm not disputing anything Cup for life said. I'm sorry if I said something that Raheem Sterling is not a goal scorer. That must have been a slip of tongue, because I think I rightly said that Raheem Sterling is known for goals, and I think I rightly mentioned the peak of his goals, which was the 2019-20 season. But I now make mention that his last 2 seasons were not that spectacular. If he started now, you made mention just last season he was in the Man City squad 37 times in the Premier League, And out of those 37, he only started 11 games. He only started 11 of those games. Fine, you said he started against every big. So maybe it was in the maybe it was in the big, against the big teams. He had the bulk. If maybe he played against them home and away. So that's, let's say, the 6 teams, or how many teams did he play against? What of the others? So I don't. That's a bit of a problem, because he's going to Chelsea, where if they play against a side like West Ham now, they might tend to struggle. That's why I said they really need someone who is up and doing. If Sterling cannot be starting Man City's game week in, week out, then it means there's a problem somewhere. If you are only saving him for the big games, it's not only the big against the big teams that you will get the points. What about against the smaller teams? If you are losing against West Ham, Brentford, and all these other teams, you're going to lose out, and you might not reach the heights that you want to reach, which is, in Chelsea's case, trying to win the Premier League title, or at least be closer to Man City and Liverpool. So that should definitely be concerning for Chelsea, looking that he wasn't used as often as you would have expected in previous seasons at Manchester City. That's my point. Thank you.
All right. That's Kunle there. Well, for now, I'm going to ask Cup for Life. Is there anything you still want to, before we wrap up the show, and let us know the winner for the?
Yeah, I think Raheem Sterling has proved his ability against smaller clubs. I don't think Raheem Sterling needs to prove that he can score goals against smaller teams. I think he's done that, and he will continue to do that. I think that he's also been impactful against big teams. So, Klopp, what's his name? Pep has options. Let's be fair. Pep has options, but the kind of options he has, he's able to rotate his squad. And don't forget, he had £100 million player that he was trying to introduce into the team that plays exactly, and in some cases comes off the left. So he had that choice that he had a work to do from that perspective. So that's what limited Sterling's time on the pitch. But besides that, let's be clear, Chelsea would do very well to introduce someone like Raheem Sterling to their squad, because there's nobody in their squad right now that is as productive as Raheem Sterling in the forward positions. Not nobody.
All right. That's it. Now we're going to know the winner for this show today. I'm talking about the sport debate show for today. We said we are looking at the 3 topics. I'm going to ask the moderator, that's Professor Tuchel, how do we do it? Do we name the winner one by each question? That's money to Bayern, good signing for Bayern. That's a question number 1. What's your take? Who is the winner for that particular question? Call for Life or Kunle?
Yeah, the first argument.
Please don't collect bribe.
No, there's no bribe. I think Kunle was for the fact that money to Bayern was a good signing, I guess.
Yeah. Kunle said going to Bayern. Money going to Bayern is a good signing. Good signing.
All right. So So I think for the first argument, I think I'll give that to Kunle. The first argument, I'll give that to Kunle. The second one was Lukaku mismanaged at Chelsea. I think it was a landslide victory from Club for Life. And Sterling to Chelsea, also another victory for Club for Life. I think it's 2-1 to Club for Life.
Are you now saying Club for Life is the champion, is the winner, undisputed?
Yeah, is the winner for the day. Club for Life. Club for Life is the winner of the day for the argument for today. Is the winner for the sports debate show for today.
All right,
but it was a nice try from Kunle. Good points as well. But Club for Life.
I disagree. I disagree with the results, please. And I know why Professor Tuchel. No, I know why Professor Tuchel is good, because I was looking at him. I knew that when he came to the last point, because I'm sure, being as a Chelsea fan, he's excited at this prospect of scoring. So he just had to, I pity your club. Yes, boss. I'm listening. I'm listening.
To be very factual and very honest with you, honestly, I am not excited about Raheem Sterling's signing. This is me being very honest. I am one person that I am very, very skeptical about the signing of Raheem Sterling, honestly. But with the points that Cup for Life brought out, it's statistical points. I mean, if this was a lockout, we would lose. I'm on your side. I don't want him at Chelsea, but he brought out stats, and you cannot go against stats. You know what I mean? So there was no way we would argue against statistics and what he has done. But I'm not sure about Raheem Sterling at Chelsea. Yeah.
Oh, no problem then.
Congratulations,
Cup for Life.
Congratulations, Cup for Life. Undisputed champions. All right, the winner of this show, talking about these three topics. Ole, thank you so much, all the way from Oshodi, Nigeria. Fantastic.
Thank you so much, boss. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. All right, Cup for Life, one love, the winner of the day. Thank you so much. And Professor Tuchel, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. It's going to be another show. What's your opinion is coming up tomorrow. Guys, thank you so much. It's been a fantastic show. Please drop your comments if you agree or disagree with this topic we mentioned for today. And also, is there any way you want to support the show? I'm talking about the channel. We have 2,215 subscribers. It's been massive. Thank you, everybody. You can support us by clicking on the link. If you also super chat, you can drop your comment, or you want to get a sticker onto your name. And also, if you want to become a member, it's also coming up. We want to build a community. No doubt about it. Thank you so much, everybody. Until the same time next week, where we're going to have the sport debate. I remain your main man. They call me the Donald Sport Entertainment. That's me. No doubt about it. Thank you, guys. It's been a fantastic show. Now, before I go, I'm going to shout out to some people. I'm going to shout out to my guy all the way from UK. I'm talking about Adeniji. It's been a fantastic brother. That's JJ Jide Adeniji. Thank you so much. You've been a fantastic brother. Please, thank you so much once again. I'm going to wrap up this show. All right. Thank you, everybody. Until same time tomorrow, it's going to be us the same thing we're going to talk about. What's your opinion? Thank you so much. Bye for now.